Good evening. Welcome to Fantastic Dimensions. We are playing Call of Cthulhu 7th edition today. And this game is one of the virtual games being played as a part of GaryCon 11. So I've got a few players here with me today, at least one of which I believe actually attended the physical convention. Had some more, but as things happen, somebody got sick and somebody else had to go to work or something. But thanks to our online role-playing game communities, I was able to fill seats and make sure that this game happened with a sufficient number of players. So we are playing Ghosts of Ravenscar, which is a one-shot scenario from the book Fear's Sharp Little Needles by Stygian Fox Publishing. It is written by Glyn Owens Barras. I hope I said his name correctly. Yeah, so this is a modern-day scenario taking place in England. Now, Toby Barnes was a friend of yours. He was the IT administrator at the architectural firm that you work at, Wally. And so you knew him via work initially. Will, he was an old college friend of your own, a university mate, as it were, and has also been known to help you out recently, especially with various computer issues and IT issues as you're doing your own personal projects and businesses. And Jordan, you are the one of the barmen at the local pub where these three gentlemen would often spend their Friday evenings after work, kicking off the weekend. And so you all became really close friends over the last, well, in your case, at least, Jordan, over the last couple of years. Maybe yours as well, Wally. Will, you've maybe known him a bit longer, coming back from university. Last Friday, Toby was not at the pub with you guys, because he had gone on one of his weekend retreats, which he was known to do on occasion. He'd just like to kind of unwind and decompress. So he would go on solo camping runs a lot of times, or hiking trips and such, oftentimes leaving on the Friday and not coming back until the Sunday. Usually the only thing he would take along with him, aside from basic camping gear, would be his mobile phone for emergency purposes, because it was, working in IT, you kind of get tired of looking at computers and dealing with technology all day. And of course, living in London, sometimes you also get just tired of dealing with teeming masses of people every day. Last Friday, late in the evening, night actually, really, it was probably close to 11 o'clock at night. You guys received a text message, maybe in WhatsApp or whatever application you use for your group texts, that said, "Weather is bad now. Wish I'd stayed home, near old Ravenscar." And that's the last that any of you heard from Toby. You know from talking to him previously that he was planning to go hiking around old Ravenscar and camping out there for the weekend. But he never came back on Sunday, didn't hear anything else from him for the rest of the weekend. He didn't read or respond to any of the messages that any of you have sent since then. The police claim that they have searched Ravenscar and the surroundings, but they believe that he was probably hiking and got lost on the moors and died. So for pretty much pretty much all of this week building up to what is now Friday night, you guys have been planning an expedition of your own, a little camping trip, as it were, to go out to old Ravenscar yourselves and have a look around to see if the police are just inept or stupid or what. Either way, you're not satisfied that enough has been done in order to find your friend. And so you've decided to go check it out yourselves and see if you can't maybe be successful where the local authorities in Yorkshire have not been able to. So during the week, of course, you could do a little bit of research of yourself, of your own, just building up, for the trip itself. And what you've been able to find out not very much. Ravenscar is basically an old ruined town, essentially, long abandoned. But it was named by Viking settlers, and it was supposedly built upon old Viking ruins. You were able to find basically small mention on Wikipedia of a vampire legend surrounding Raven Hall in Ravenscar. And the Wikipedia mentioned, it cited a book titled Yorkshire Legends and Traditions as Told by Her Ancient Chronicles by a Thomas Parkinson, 1888. Probably have tried to find a copy of that book, but you've not been able to. It's been out of print for a very long time, and you were not able to find any surviving copies available currently. And you have found allusions to the ruins of an old Roman signal station that's said to be located somewhere on the cliffs to the north of the village itself. So you guys started to prepare for your own trip. Jordan, in a very rare act of charity, your boss has decided to give you the weekend off so that you could go away with the guys looking for Toby. So yeah, very rare that a barman gets a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off, but you pulled it off. And I know you had a drive skill of 50. I'm assuming that's probably the best of the party. So we'll say you're taking your car up. Now I do have a little map, which I'll pull up there for you. If you can't see that, I can drop it into the chat. In fact, I will drop it into our Facebook chat just so you guys can. Sometimes bandwidth can be an issue, and trying to look at it on my screen isn't ideal. So I'll drop that same map into our group chat now. It's coming through, just in case it's any better for you. So by the time you get up to Ravenscar, it is nighttime, although there's still some light in the sky because it is summer. It's about 10 o'clock at night, but you know, I mean, the sun is in the process of setting, but you know you've got about an hour left of light remaining. The weather isn't too harsh, just a light spatter of rainfall, but there are some pretty ominous black clouds that you can see on the horizon as well. The village itself, which is in the little blown up part of the map there, you basically see a bleak kind of wide open space with thick overgrown grass and shrubberies bisected by streets that are slowly being overtaken by nature. There are a few buildings visible here and there. As you can see, probably marked on the map itself, there are several small or decent sized, actually, old abandoned houses. But then the most prominent buildings are St. Hilda's Church, which is located there in the northeastern part of the village, and Raven Hall, which stands to the south. You know that covered basically in trees, but you know that the northern portion here of Ravenscar is a long line of cliffs that basically surrounds the northern area out to sea, basically. And from your research online, of course, too, you know that people have been warned to be careful when hiking in the area because the cliffs lead to a very prodigious drop to the rocky beach below. So, 10 p.m., abandoned village, about an hour until it gets black dark out. Well, you know, nighttime dark out. What would you like to do, gentlemen?
I imagine the on-street lighting probably leaves a lot to be desired in this place too.
There's no on-street lighting here.
Yeah, right.
Nope.
Okay. Something to keep in mind.
Will, weighed down with many hundreds of pounds worth of overpriced camping gear, North Face designer stuff, etc., plainly doesn't have a clue what he's doing in this pastoral setting. Well, look, chaps, we need to find somewhere to put this tent up. I mean, it cost me a best part of £1,000.
Well, I can help you set your tent up, but then I'm going to go sleep in one of these houses. If we do any sleeping anyway, you know. Who knows? Looking for.
Yeah, I mean, setting the tent up probably is a good idea now while we still have some light, but I mean, I'd rather do as much searching as we can.
That's what I was thinking.
Yep.
So as you guys are kind of pulling in the car, perhaps there's a pretty good clear area in the northwestern section here. It's still away from the actual thick trees, but it's there's no hard rocky ruins or anything in that area, so it might be a safe place to kind of pitch a tent, as it were. As you kind of are getting out of the car and discussing this, why don't we go ahead, because I should have done this in the first place and I forgot, but why don't we go ahead one by one and just tell us who your character is, how you know Toby, and just give us a description as to what we see when we look at you. So I'll just call you out by name one by one so we don't trip over each other. So let's see, Jordan, you're driving. You go ahead and go first.
Okay. My name is my character's name is Jordan Wells. He is a London bartender, 24. So a millennial bartending, beer slinging, shot pouring, relatively typical guy. He does, however, have the automobile in this case, which makes him feel pretty special. Doesn't take much to make Jordan feel pretty special. One of the reasons that he's a pretty good bartender. He's charming and he's engaging with people. But he is still kind of wondering in his scalawag kind of way, why are we setting up a tent? Let's kick in a door and sleep in a house. That says something. That's a little window into his mentality.
Fair enough. So, Neil, as you're getting out of the car and fumbling with your camping gear, why don't you go ahead and describe your character?
Yes, Will Meyer, late 20s, maybe early 30s, a contemporary of the missing Mr. Barnes. Designer stubble, probably unnecessary glasses, worn as a fashion statement rather than for medicinal purposes. Fond of tasseled scarves and cheesecloth shirts and straw hats and laptop bags. He's got very long, thin arms and legs, which, when he gets very excitable, he tends to sort of lose control of and flaps about a bit like a wet hen. He claims to be the editor and senior sort of journalist for the Meyer Review, his self-published online news source, where he holds the powerful to account by his own reckoning. The readership is about 800 people a month. He does not and never did understand Toby Barnes' obsession with the outdoors, and as a result, throwing himself into it willingly, and with his customary habit of spending his father's money, more accurately, has thrown himself wholeheartedly into the project, but is quite clearly a fish out of water.
Excellent. And Scott?
All right. Wally Stoneham is an architect at a medium-sized firm in London, and that is where he knows Toby. That's where Toby works as an IT professional. So they've come in contact with each other for work-related reasons, realize that, hey, they both have a background in camping and a love of hiking and such. And so they become fast friends through that. He's a little bit older than them, mid-30s, fairly nondescript gentleman. It's a somewhat sedentary job position, but he does get out and do some hiking and camping, so that's what keeps him fairly fit and trim.
Very good. Excellent. So, so you would be quite familiar with the gear that Will is currently fumbling with, pulling out of the boot of the car, as it were. And in fairness, if you look at it, I will go ahead and Neil, give me a luck roll.
Sure. Find me a 10 side. There we go. That would be 90, a big fat fail.
Right. Yeah, he's got a really nice, really expensive tent. It's good size. It's kind of like a family camping tent. It looks like it's suitable for up to 4 people. plenty of space if you want to put air mattresses inside, etc. It's definitely a good for adverse weather and such. But he doesn't seem to have the spikes nor a mallet or hammer for driving them into the ground.
Oh, bloody hell, I'm sure the man put them in the bag for me.
Search and search and search. Looking through the trunk of the car, you've got oil lanterns, you've got electrical lanterns, you've got basically all the outdoor. You got this little mini grill and some charcoal. You got lighter fluid. You've got fire starters. You've got sleeping bags. You do have a couple of large air mattresses. You've got a pump for blowing up the air mattresses. No mallet, no spikes.
Do we really need them? Wally, you know about this sort of stuff.
Well, it's going to be awfully hard to keep the tent in place without spikes. I mean, we can take the rods and maybe still build the framework, but it's not really going to hold up that well.
And as you say that, a gust of wind blows through, bringing into mind an image of Will inside of his tent blowing off the side of the cliffs as a stiff wind blows through and gives you all quite the chill. And give me spot hidden rolls, please. All three of you.
43, straight success.
Okay.
That's a fail.
Okay. Wally fails. He's too busy focusing on the idea of Will blowing off the cliffs.
And a 48 for Jordan, so that's a near. He passed barely.
Cool.
He made it.
That pass is a pass. So Will and Jordan, both of you, as the rain begins to pick up a bit, it starts to fall a bit heavier, larger drops as well, and you kind of hear a little bit of a rumble, like a faint distant thunder. And as you look up, you see those black clouds are now rolling preternaturally fast towards you. It's a little bit disturbing even, because as you're looking at it, it's like when you watch one of those weather videos and they speed up the video. It's something like that, except you're seeing it happen in real time right in front of you. And these clouds are just rapidly rolling in, and the rain's getting heavier and heavier, and the wind is getting harder. And the sky is darkening as well. Why don't you two go ahead and just give me a sanity roll?
Ooh, 73 would be a fail.
You lose 1 point of sanity, Will, as you see this. Like I said, it's like something from a movie. It can't be real.
Jordan got a 4.
Jordan got a 4. You don't lose. You keep your wits about you. You're not startled necessarily by it. Although again, it does, like I said, look quite unnatural to you for clouds to be moving that fast.
You know what this is, don't you? This is government weather experiments.
I think this is a man rattled because he didn't bring his tent stakes. Maybe we should look at getting inside somewhere if the storm is rolling in.
Yes, by all means, lead on.
You got a couple of abandoned houses nearby, or the church. If you kind of look at the map, you're just in that little northwest clearing area. So, yeah, what do you like? What do you fancy?
Depending on how close the storm looks to be, what do you guys think? Nearest building or the church?
It's getting closer rapidly.
Nearest building.
Yeah, nearest building.
Nearest building, then.
So I can tell you anyway, just as you're looking at the church and deciding to go to the nearest abandoned house, the church itself has a low stone wall that surrounds the church and its churchyard, and you can see some gravestones spotting the churchyard there within the wall. The main building itself looks to be constructed from dark brown bricks. It has a tall gabled roof with a cross looking down, of course, upon the entrance to the churchyard and path. The abandoned houses, as you look, they all seem to be made of sandstone. They're about 2 stories tall. They also have gabled roofs. Yep, and a lot of them, a lot of the roof tiles you see also are filled with holes. Front and back gardens overgrown with weeds. Each of the houses has 4 windows at the front, 2 upstairs and 2 downstairs, and a front door between the first floor windows. So you move towards the first house. Let's see here. Give me a luck roll, Jordan.
That would be a 17.
Okay, so it's a success.
Yes.
So the upstairs windows are obviously broken as you're approaching. And the downstairs windows are boarded up. And the door has, you can see where it was boarded up, but it isn't any longer. It's been unboarded, as it were.
And I'm guessing that's what we see. We can't tell anything about how recently it was unboarded, especially in the impending gloom.
Yeah, not necessarily, unless you have a specific skill that might allow you to discern something like probably takes on like a forensic sciences or something. Really.
Yeah. I was going to say spot hidden might not cut it here.
Maybe if you had like a high skill in carpentry, but like.
Yeah, certainly not Jordan. Well, let's get in out of the storm, I guess.
And it's now the storm is becoming almost torrential as you stand there looking at it.
Yeah.
And it's almost dark as night. It's like those black clouds rolling in have blocked out what little bit of light remained in the sky.
Will, oblivious to these things, sees the timber's been pulled away from the door. Oh, good, that's lucky, and just walks straight in, having sort of regaled them on the way about the fact that they do know we know the NSA have leaked the documents about weather experiments.
As you enter the front door, you see a wide corridor with a door at the end of it, which you assume probably leads out to the back garden. And then there's a door on each side of the hall as well. And then there's a staircase which leads up to the second floor on the east wall. The kind of hall or corridor basically that you're in now is dark and dank smelling. You can see mold covering the bare plaster walls. Some of the plaster has fallen off to reveal bare brick beneath. There is carpeting, but it is rotted and it squelches as you step on it. It's pretty wet, filthy, and moldy.
Yeah, this place looks like it could use a renovation job with 10 gallons of kerosene. But it's better than
lighting
being
flashes,
outside.
illuminating you all from behind briefly as the loud peal of thunder rips through the sky. And more rain is getting in as you stand here with the door open.
Well, Jordan might not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but he does know to get in from the rain and at least sort of half-heartedly kick the door closed.
Sure.
I'm guessing that that's not going to change the amount of light coming in too terribly much if considering the condition of the place.
Well, it's pretty much totally dark in here once you kick the door closed. Do you guys have a flashlight or any other source of light on you? I mean,
I've
presume
got a sort of 200-pound, headband LED light.
Oh, one of those real expensive, fancy ones, that the spelunkers use.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
Nice.
would.
Whether it occurred to me to bring it with us is another question.
Oh, well, roll your luck then.
No, failed.
No, it's in the boot of the car. You left it in the boot of the car with your tent.
We did have the good sense, of course, to park the car just at the end of the driveway here, didn't we?
Yeah,
Well, we went to the nearest house.
yeah. It's not terribly far away.
Well, Wally does have a nice flashlight, but let's see if we brought it with it. 07. So yeah, I managed to grab that as we were leaving the car. So
Yep, you had the good sense to grab it out of the glove box or whatever, and it's in your hand.
all right. Well, at least we have something for light. So I'll turn that on and
It works.
take a look and see what this place looks like better now that we have some actual
Sure.
light.
Jordan, I would argue, Jordan would also have a flashlight on his smartphone, but as the phone is smarter than Jordan, he would not be very cognizant of his battery charge, so it could very well run out before he needs it to.
I see.
But he's the kind of guy who would certainly whip it out and say, check it out, cool.
Yeah, there you go. Yep, and so you now have two light sources. Wally has his flashlight. Jordan has his smartphone. And so you can see basically just, again, only in a little bit better light now, the same corridor that I described already. If you kind of look at the stairs, you can see them on the east wall there. You can see that there's a lot of moisture, a lot of the moisture that's kind of ruined this corridor is coming from upstairs. You remember that the windows are broken upstairs, so there's nothing keeping the rain out upstairs. So perhaps maybe it might be a little bit drier and less moldy in one of these side rooms off of the main corridor.
Yeah, I'm gonna head down the hall and check out one of the other rooms because this is not a pleasant place to have to spend any time.
Yeah, it's
Right.
really not, especially
Right
on the corner. Yeah, you can see some of that mold. There's a lot of black in that mold too. It doesn't look very safe. So the door to the west leads to the front room of the house. It has a fireplace against the east wall, and it holds some pieces of collapsed, rotted furniture. The windows are boarded up, so there's no rain pouring in. Yeah, the carpet again is still pretty rotten. Not as wet though as it was in the corridor. And then also downstairs, off the east wall entrance hall, there is a dining room, which has a door also on the north wall, and the dining room holds the remnants of a large wooden dining table. A lot of the wood is split and kind of spiky now. And the north door in the dining room leads to a kitchen, which is pretty much empty of furniture except for sagging wooden cabinets that line the walls. You don't see any signs of any kind of a basement or cellar.
Is there a fireplace in here that we've seen?
Yeah, there was a fireplace in the living room.
Okay.
So the front room, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And so
Well, I mean, we've got broken table pieces. We could potentially try, lighting that to have a fire, so at least some heat and dry a little, trace a little bit of the chill and dampness out.
Going back into the living room?
Not yet. Have we investigated everything on the lower floor?
Yeah. Yep. You got a living room, a dining room, and
All
a
right.
kitchen, basically.
Well, I mean, other than starting a fire, I really don't know what else we can do right now. I mean, that'll at least make it a little bit more comfortable in here.
Yeah, I don't really want to. I mean, maybe we should try to check upstairs, but I don't know.
Might as well take a quick peek. I mean, I don't expect there to be anything up there, but yeah, you never know. I'd hate to come all this way and find out that he was upstairs and we didn't bother to look.
Okay,
I'll
who's
lead
going
the way.
upstairs?
I'll lead the way and head upstairs.
Sure. What's your size? Your size.
My size
characteristic.
is 75.
Give me a luck roll.
All right.
The stairs creak as you're walking up.
43, and my luck. So I make my luck roll.
Yeah, they creak and they're pretty treacherous. You're very nervous about them, but you manage to make it up without any of them collapsing or breaking or falling apart. At the top of the stairs, there's a window on the north wall, which looks down into the back garden. And there are doors again on the west and east walls of the upstairs corridor.
All right, I guess I will open the door to the east, and I'll let
Did anybody
everybody
else
know
go up with him?
Jordan is gathering splintered table wood to use for firewood in the living room shortly.
Okay, and what about you, Will? What are you doing?
Will, having just literally glanced into the three downstairs doors, seeing what a complete pit this place is, decides that he's got much better quality camping beds and one of those expensive camping Calagas grills and all that sort of thing in the boot of the car. So he is going to start ferrying stuff in to make his life more comfortable.
Indeed. Give me an idea roll.
Ooh, that would be for the 39 pass, yes.
Yeah. It also occurs to you that if you cleared out some of the rubbish on the floor in the living room is big enough. If you put the tent in the living room, you wouldn't have to worry about the wind.
Slightly shocked at how practical a turn of mind he suddenly seems to have. He will... in the first instance, though, it's about getting warm.
That's fair enough.
So
you're going back out into the torrential rainstorm.
Indeed.
Excellent. Okay, so you're upstairs alone, Scott. Very good. Wally, I should say. So you, I apologize before I stepped on you there, Scott. You were saying Wally was going to call out maybe downstairs to the other lads?
Well, I was just going to let them know that the stairway is not that great. So if they decide to come up, just go one at a time. I'd hate to have this collapse because we have too much weight on it. And I will investigate the.
And you
the
feel
room.
you feel a gust of wind blow past you and down the stairs as the front door to the house opens as Will makes his exit to go back out to the car, and yeah. So you want to check these rooms upstairs?
Yep, I'll start on the east, I guess.
Okay. So, on the east wall, it opens to a bedroom. The windows, of course, are shattered out here. It's really even more so than the corridor. It's wet and rotten and moldy. Really quite noxious, in fact. Go ahead and give me a Constitution roll because the mold and the damp and the mildew is so bad up here. How'd you do on that Constitution roll?
That's a 97.
Okay, yeah, you feel the urge to get out of this room immediately and closing the door behind you, and you get sick in the hallway. And you're coughing. Basically, it's the coughing that makes you sick because it was just the air was too noxious to almost breathe in there. But pretty much you just saw an old abandoned bedroom with nothing much in it except for ruined furniture and such. You know, like a dresser maybe, or like a desk and a chair, but they're all rotten and collapsed.
All right. Well, after I'm done getting rid of my lunch and dinner and whatnot, I will check the other room and hope that it's not quite as bad. I'll cover my face with my shirt just to try to help.
Cool. Yeah, and as you kind of open it, you look and you see another bedroom, much the same, unfortunately. This time you're a little bit more prepared for it. You got your mouth covered, so you don't take a big old inhalation of nasty black mold spores or anything. But yeah, it's still pretty gross, and you're like, just at a quick glance, you can tell this room is worthless. No sign of anybody up here.
All right, back downstairs then.
Okay, give me another luck roll as you make your way down the stairs.
That'll be a 38, so that's a success.
Yep, You make it through. You remember that one step right there particularly felt like it was about to give way, so you skip that step and you make it down without any further issues. While that's going on, Will, you went out to the car?
Yes. First job of work, LED headlamp, followed by the grill and bottled gas to bring it in and start getting some heat and light.
Very good. Give me a... well, hold on. First of all, Jordan, it's your car.
Mm-hmm.
Did you lock it?
I did not.
Leave it unlocked.
He left it unlocked.
Okay. Good. Then the car is unlocked when you get there. Will?
Very good.
So yes, you open it up. You find your LED headlamp. Strap it on. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. You're getting soaking wet too, by the way. But
next job. Well, in that case, I alter it. So first things first is the sort of extremely expensive, absurd designer jacket, sort of raincoat type thing.
okay. Right. Yeah.
Then the lamp. Then
Multi-layered. It's got the fleece that zips in and everything else.
and it's got like a mountain rescue whistle inside one of the inner pockets and a balaclava, a nylon balaclava that straps inside, and all that kind of ridiculous gubbins.
Super fancy. Okay. Yep. So you strap that on, and that helps you against the weather a bit. Fair enough. Then you strap on the headlamp.
Yep. And then without too much care about preserving any kind of sense of order or how to find anything again, just tear through it looking for the gas bottles and the grill.
Give me a listen roll. Now you're just tearing through everything, making a lot of racket. So I'm going to say, make a listen roll with a penalty die, please.
Alrighty. Okay, so that's going to be 88 on a penalty. So that's going to be a big miss.
Okay, no problem. Yep. So eventually, you're finding the things you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. Carry them back in as soon as I can, and start fumbling ineptly with trying to make this gas thing work.
Sure. No problem. What is it? It's a gas.
It's like a four ring hob almost.
Right, like a little cooker. Got it.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, and yeah, go ahead and give me an intelligence roll.
Okay. Oh, 96.
You can't figure it out. Fucking thing. It's broken. It won't work. It won't start.
Is it supposed to be hissing like that? Naturally assuming that Jordan, being a barman, is the sort of chap who'd know how to fix this stuff.
So as you're doing this, is right around the same time as you come back in with this stuff and you're starting to fiddle with that. It's around the same time that Jordan is bringing in the wood that he's broken up from the dining room table, and also Wally is now making his way down the stairs gingerly, or carefully, I should say, not gingerly, not like he's wound injured. He's just being cautious. Yeah, and you guys will hear, of course, will call out. He's fiddling with the gas cooker and can't figure it out.
Ah, yes, Jordan, be a good chap, holding the kind of rubber tube in one hand and a sort of, flange or something in the other. Here, you do it. I'm sure you're very good at this sort of thing.
Jordan's about to dump the wood on the floor next to the on the hearth next to the fireplace.
Roll a hidden roll as you do so.
Okay. That would be a fail. 81.
Okay. Cool. You dump the wood next to the hearth.
Yep. He grabs the stove from Will and turns off the gas regulator so that he doesn't pass out from the propane squirting in his face. Mm-hmm. And says, "Let me take a look at it."
Happy to, yeah.
Sure, yeah, you can figure it out, no problem.
So he gets it set up and he uses his lighter because, of course, being a barman, he's definitely a smoker.
Oh yeah.
So he ignites the stove a decent distance from the fireplace and says, "There you go."
So Wally, You kind of walk in and witness this entire exchange. Didn't mean to step on you, Joe. Go ahead.
Oh no, that was it. He just had to demonstrate his superiority with mechanical things.
Yeah.
And now he's going back to the hearth.
Stacking in the wood in the fireplace.
Yep.
Give me another spot hidden roll with a bonus die.
Okay. Okay, well, there's an 8 and a 17. So that would be, for him, with his spot hidden to 50, he made it.
Okay, yeah. So you notice right away that there's still some bits of charred wood in the fireplace and ash. And, I mean, you know, it can't have been that long ago that it was used, at least if it's still so kind of pure in a sense. It's not so ruined. It's not it's been sitting there for years.
Right.
Yeah, somebody else has used this fireplace sometime this year anyway, at least you reckon, but
I'll relay that to my compatriots and then continue building the fire because, you know, he's processed the information, but there doesn't seem to be much more to it than that.
Sure.
Oh, well, somebody built a fire here not too long ago, and now I'm going to build a fire here.
Yep. What are you guys doing, Will and Wally, then? You get your cooker working, Will.
Yes. So the next thing is to go out for the little folding canvas camping chairs. Since I'm not planning on sitting on this floor, these trousers are expensive.
Okay.
And I will help bring things in from the car as well.
Okay, cool. So as you're doing that, and you get your fire, you get your wood stacked up properly for the right kind of burning and stuff, and you got little bits of you came prepared, I suppose, right? So you have some kind of like little magazine or newspaper or something you can put in there for getting the fire started.
Pretty good chance that he's got handbills from the bar stuck in a back pocket. But
Perfect.
if
That
not,
works.
I'm sure
that works too.
Yeah, I'm sure that Will's got plenty of stuff.
Any paper will do. So yeah, you can stick those in there, and you got your lighter with you. So your fire is starting up. It's it starts off small. Well, it starts off actually kind of big, of course, as the paper burns, and then you got to blow on it a bit to try to get the heat going on the wood itself. And give me another spot hidden check with a bonus die.
Okay.
Because you have a little bit of light going now from this fire as well.
With a bonus die, let me see. That was a 66. Oh, and a 20. So that's a hard success.
Okay. Less than half is a hard success, yeah. Or half or less, I should say. So as you're blowing, and you got to put some more handbills in and kind of keep the fire going as much as you can until the wood starts to burn, because it is kind of damp wood anyway that was in that old dining room. But and as you're doing that, a little glint catches your eye off to the left of the hearth, reflecting a little bit of light from the fire itself, and you look down and you see a gold iPhone, that annoying gold colored kind of iPhone they released, I think with the iPhone 7 or something like that. You remember the just
yes, the
fancy,
rose gold.
yuppie bullshit. Exactly, that's the one. I'm sorry if you have a rose gold iPhone, but yeah, but I'm also not sorry. So, so yeah, you see, you catch a glimpse and you look over at that, and right away you're like, that was Toby's phone. Toby had a rose gold iPhone.
Well, Jordan snatches it up and says, "Hey guys, check this out."
And they're not there because they've gone out to get stuff from the car.
Oh, I missed him. I was enamored and enraptured by the fire. Imagine that.
They'll be back shortly.
Well, he sticks the phone in a pocket.
Sure. Yeah, you look right away anyway. You immediately notice the battery is dead. But you're looking at it, you're like, you're sure. Yeah, this was Toby's his iPhone. He always took it with him camping and stuff because it wasn't his best phone. It was kind of his common everyday phone that he didn't care if it got, dropped in the pub or damaged on a camping trip or something like that. Of course, any decent tech or IT individual would not use an iPhone on, for his personal preference. But yeah, this was definitely one of Toby's phones, and it was the one that he always would bring camping with him. So you put it in your pocket, and give me a listen roll.
That would be a 2.
A 2?
Wow. Yeah.
An extreme success?
Yes.
Okay. You hear a high-pitched, like at first it sounds like a distant whining sound, almost like an electrical interference sound or something. You hear those high-pitched, like just on the edge of your hearing kind of sounds.
Mm-hmm.
But it's getting louder and louder and louder, and as it's starting to get louder, it almost sounds like some kind of a muffled shriek. And since you rolled an extreme success, it seems to be coming from the corner of the living room to your left, where there's a big pile of detritus lying near the wall.
Well, that sounds pretty creepy.
Yeah, it's getting louder.
Jordan is going to grab the most appropriate cudgel-looking piece of firewood.
Okay.
And turn around and look at this pile of refuse that seems to be screeching at him.
Yeah, and it's getting louder and louder. And then the refuse kind of bursts, and a creature comes climbing up out of it, resembling a cross between a huge white spider and a centipede with multiple abdomens, covered in scores of long chitinous legs, which in turn are spotted with spines and glassy circular eyes. It is probably about 8 feet long, you reckon. It's kind of thin, but it's, you would guess it's probably about man size overall, but it's long and thin. And it comes up out. I need a sanity roll. As
obviously.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and where's my sanity? Oh, I got a 51.
A 51? What's your sanity?
Mm-hmm. 35.
Okay. So, seeing the creature, you lose 4 points of sanity.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and mark that off. So 7 points is your threshold, right, for insanity. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And now that it's burst through the refuse, this discordant sound is even louder. Like I said, to human ears, it just sounds like a high-pitched shriek, varying in tone. But it is really, 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 obviously the sight of it is discomforting as well, but the sound is making it even worse. As you see it there, it kind of bursts up out, and it looks, and it starts to move towards you. Guys, I would like you to roll listen rolls from outside as you're walking back to the house carrying the tent gear, camping gear and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 29, a fail, but only just.
Yeah, you're oblivious.
16.
16. Wally makes it. Wally, you hear sounds like a shrieking sound coming from inside the house. And then it gets a lot louder all of a sudden, and it's followed quickly by a second shrieking sound, which is you may recognize as the sound of Jordan probably pissing himself.
Shit! What? We need to get in there. What the hell? And I will take off running for the door.
So Jordan, what are you doing now?
Well, I'm probably relatively paralyzed. I might have the presence of mind to see if I can make it to the front door before that thing gets to me.
Do you turn and run for the door?
Yes, cudgel still in hand, but that's merely because I didn't think to drop it.
Right. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. So as you're moving towards the door, Wally, and Will, you're maybe saying, "Wait, what?" The door bursts open from the inside, and Jordan comes running out, white-faced, carrying a large cudgel-like size or shaped piece of firewood, and the shrieking sound is even louder, coming from inside the house.
What the
So
hell's going on?
Jordan just manages to scream, "Big freaky spider!"
Will, what are you doing? It's your turn on initiative.
I immediately just freeze rabbit in headlights as a friend of mine comes running at me with a large piece of wood. And since I personally can't decide what to do, I'm going to assume that Will just stands there clutching a slightly more camping gear than he knows what to do with.
Yeah, and Jordan, he barreled past Wally, screaming "Big freaky spider," and then ran up to Will, who has all the gear, as if Will might have bug spray or something, and grabs him and says, "There's a big freaky spider in the living room."
Okay. Wally, your turn.
Well, as a veteran camper, I'm not too concerned with the spider, and I'm just assuming that Jordan just really doesn't like spiders, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to squash the spider.
Okay, so you move towards the door. And as you get to the door, you can see coming into the corridor and turning towards the door the same creature that I described before. Looks like a cross between a huge white spider and centipede with multiple abdomens, covered in scores of long chitinous legs, spotted with spines and glassy circular eyes, making this horrible dissonant shrieking sound, which changes in tone and pitch. No visible mouth or anything resembling a head at all on it. In fact, if anything, I'd say it's kind of like, with obviously a lot more legs and the eyes on the legs, kind of reminiscent of a camel spider, except the fact that it's bigger. It's man-sized, longer but thinner, and it's coming directly towards you. Give me a sanity roll.
All right, so that's a 54. That is a failure.
Okay, you will lose 7 points of sanity on sight of this thing barreling towards you. So that's going to be a bout of madness real time. What's your maximum sanity, by the way? Or what was your starting sanity, I should say, for the session?
45.
45?
Yep.
So you're 2 points off from your indefinite insanity threshold. Okay. So go ahead and give me a D10 roll, Scott, and we'll see what kind of a bout of madness Wally suffers.
That is a 5.
A 5. So as it's coming towards you, who's a significant person in your life? Like if you had to think of somebody who's important to you in your life that's not one of your friends who's here with you now.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe my mom.
Your mother, right? No
Yeah.
problem. Good. So as you see this thing and you're like, and you look back over at your friends, but you don't see your friends anymore. You still see Jordan there talking, or maybe now he's getting ready to move again. But you see your mother standing there, where Will was moments ago.
Mom, what are you doing here, Mom?
And we go back to the top of the order with Jordan. Jordan, you still hear the shrieking coming from inside the house. You hear Wally's strange response as he started to move towards the house. And now he's calling out for his mom. But you've also been hearing this shrieking sound now for a couple of rounds. So I'll need another sanity roll, please.
Okay. That would be a 40. Sanity is 35.
You lose 2 more points of sanity.
Oh, that puts me 1 away. I'm at 29. Temporary.
Good to know. And it's your initiative. What do you do?
Well, the bizarre line of mom questioning from Molly sort of snaps me out of my spider centipede freak terror to I've still got a hold of Will, and I'm like, did he just ask for his mom? But he doesn't know what to do. This is getting weirder and weirder, and now the most grounded of his friends is now back there standing on the porch asking for his mommy or something, because there's a lot going on, and Jordan at this point is not really sure what's actually happening. But he definitely wants Will to weigh in on what's transpiring.
Well, Will is next in initiative. What do you do, Will?
Can I see this beast at this point?
Not yet. It hasn't come out of the house. Only Wally only sees it because he was approaching the house and he can see into the corridor.
Okay. Jordan. It can't be that big a spider. Put the stick down. There's a good chap. Try and sort of talk him down. Still clutching this camping gear in both hands, and it's probably piled up to just under his chin, so he hasn't got a lot of gesticulation or anything in the way of kind of an ability to emphasize this. Look, put the stick down. We'll go and squash the spider together. Hey, how about that?
Jordan gestures back toward the house with his club and says, "Come on, let's go take a look. Let's go. Come on. Let's take a look at the spider."
And then it's your turn, Scott or Wally. What would you like to do, Wally? So you see Jordan talking with your mother, and now probably taking her by the arm and starting to walk her towards the house, saying, "Let's go take a look at the spider."
So I'm gonna go over and give my mom a hug because I haven't seen her for a while, and this is really bizarre.
Okay.
I'm still confused as to why she's here, but
so Wally walks over and he gives you a big, huge hug. Will.
Mom.
Will. Yeah, go ahead.
And who's looking towards the house? I guess Wally's not now because he's walked over to hug Will. Are you looking towards the house, Will, over his shoulder, or it's up to you?
Will, being public school and Oxbridge educated and English, has a complete horror of other grown men of his acquaintance coming into his physical space, let alone hugging him. And he just sort of steps back along the muddy path back towards the car. And but at this point, presumably, Jordan has also got hold of his arm and is tugging him towards the house. So he's kind of this sort of pinball, sort of trapped between these two horrific situations of being pulled towards somebody and being hugged by another man. Look, guys, please, can't we just what's going on here?
And Jordan would have been looking toward the house as he was walking back to the front porch, but once Wally grabbed Mom, aka Will, in his big hug, that may have distracted him, but he's pretty much looking at the house.
Yep. Yeah, you see the creature now reaches the doorway of the house, kind of sticks halfway out of the door, kind of in its weird centipede-like way. It lifts up its front abdomen, arms waving in the air with their like kind of talon-tipped legs, and yeah, I'm going to need you to make a power check. So roll a power check and tell me what kind of a success level you reach.
All right.
And good fucking luck.
I got a 33 out of my power's 35.
Yeah, okay. That's not going to beat my extreme success. So you are subjected to a sudden and terrifying blast of energy that comes. You just like feel like a force wave come from this creature as it's waving its arms in the air and hits you in the face. And you are going to lose 5 hit points.
Okay.
What's your maximum hit points?
My maximum hit points, 12.
Okay, good. That's not a major wound then. You lose 5 hit points as flesh on your like your exposed flesh on like your face and your hands, like just kind of blackens and withers and like starts to slough off of you, leaving raw, exposed pink flesh underneath and blood vessels and such. Yep. And then it's back to the top of the order. It's your turn, Jordan.
You mean I'm going to do something other than scream?
Yeah, one more thing that happens as you scream. You all, there's no listen rolls required to hear this. You all hear the sound of a siren start to go off from somewhere. Sounds like an air raid siren, an old air raid siren. You know that? And it's just continuous. You can make listen rolls, I suppose, because if you might be able to determine where it's coming from. But
yeah, Jordan won't have the presence of mind to do that.
Okay, what are you doing, Jordan, as you scream? And you're in pain.
Yeah, he's well, he lets go of Will. He doesn't care that Wally is talking to Will as if Will is his mom.
Doesn't give a shit anymore.
No, he doesn't care. Is the creature is actually coming out of the, or is it just kind of hanging out the front?
It's kind of in the doorway at the moment, like partially out. It just stopped. It seemed to have raised up, and you may not realize what it did, but it basically just cast a spell at you. But yeah. It threw a force wave at you that tore flesh off of your face and hands.
Yeah, I want to leave. So
that's a sensible reaction.
I think I'm going to look at Wally and Will and say, "I'm leaving," and start to get to the car.
Okay, you turn and run for the car.
Yep.
Excellent. Very good. Next on initiative is Will.
Restrained as I am by this unwanted physical attention, however, Wally has just run past me. Does this free up my view of the front of the house?
Sure. Give me a sanity roll.
Okay. It's a 75 fail.
All right. You lose 5 points of sanity.
Okay.
Roll a d10 for your bout of madness.
Yep.
As you now see the creature standing there in the doorway, this giant, like I said, kind of it's got too many legs to be a camel spider, but it kind of looks similar to that.
5 on the d10.
5 on the d10. Oh, Jesus Christ! Who would name a significant person?
My father, Charles.
Your father. So as you see the creature there, and then you look, and the man who just hugged you, it's your father.
Okay, the precise syllables. What the fuck? Oh, hi, Dad. And I clasp him to me as fervently as he is clasping me, and the two of us are just locked in this hug on the garden path.
And you still see the giant spider thing.
And I whisper to him, "Dad, we need to get out of here now." And start pulling him backwards. I'm walking backwards, I presume, since I was walking up the path towards the house with the stuff. So I start dragging him backwards down the path with me.
Okay. No problem. Back towards the car. And Wally, your mother has now just called you Dad for some strange reason. This is such a strange sequence of weird hallucinations. And they're going to end at the same time too. How about it?
Mom, it's me, Wally, not Father. But did you, by any chance, bring any of those cookies that I loved as a child? I haven't had any for years. I mean, where are we going?
Let's not worry about that. Let's just get to that friend of mine has a car right this way.
All right.
Okay.
I'll join along with the car since, my mother wants me to go somewhere with her.
Good. Does anybody look back at the giant creature?
No.
Jordan is not looking back until he is in the car with it started and about
Sure. the weather makes it difficult with the wind and the rain. You're kind of slowed a bit, but yeah, you get back to the car. Give me a luck roll.
All right. That would be a 58. So no, I failed.
Yep. So you pull out the keys and you drop them into a really deep mud puddle.
I fall to my hands and knees, oblivious to the mud, and start splashing through it. Yeah.
Yep, sure, no problem. Give me a would be an appropriate skill for this. There's no search skill, is there? No. Just give me a luck roll. Fuck it. If you can't think of a skill, roll luck.
I rolled a 52 that time. Can I spend luck on a luck roll or not?
No, you can never spend luck on a luck roll, nor on a sanity roll.
Well, then
you're fumbling around looking, and you can't find the keys now. You're like, oh, fuck the keys. And you just kind of look over, and you see that creature is now moving directly towards you. In fact, it's just about to overtake Will and Wally. And it's running on all of its legs now on the ground. Like, it's only... Like when it's down on the ground like that, it's only maybe 3 feet tall. It's not quite as intimidating looking. It's still 8 feet long, but you know. And we go to Will.
Yes, I'll sort of maneuver myself so that we're both. I will have dropped to the camping gear at this point. Obviously to
drop the camping gear. Good.
To grasp Daddy. And with my arms around his shoulders, turn, and I will sort of drag him towards the car. What are you doing here?
And as you do so, the creature overtakes you and passes you, heading straight towards the car.
Blind panic, freeze, turn around, and start dragging him back towards the house.
Wally.
Well, I guess, do I see the creature then as it passes by us?
Oh, yeah, you do. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I completely forgotten in my bout of insanity that I had seen this thing in the first place. So I'm trying to figure out where did that come from? And if my mother's trying to drag me back away from it, I am perfectly fine with that because she clearly knows that is the best thing to do is to get the hell away from this big.
Cool. So you're both now moving back maybe towards the house again.
Yes.
Very good. And the creature then runs straight over to the car and attacks the back wheel. And how much damage is that? Oh, I gotta roll. See how many hits that is. Okay. And it attacks the driver's side rear wheel. Right? Oh no, England. Sorry, passenger side rear wheel. Doing damage. Ooh, 8 points of damage. I'm gonna say that's gonna be enough to destroy the tire at the very least.
No.
And you hear and feel like can feel the car kind of start to lean a little bit away from you as you're looking for the keys there, Jordan. And you hear the sound too of like tearing steel and exploding, tire tube and rubber tearing from the other side of the car. And it's your turn, Jordan.
But this thing, I'm still looking for keys, but this thing seems more interested in eating the car than eating me at the moment.
You're on the other side of the car from it at the moment, so you don't even actually see it unless you like get down in the mud and look under. But yeah, you're not sure. But yeah, it's a reasonable assumption to assume that it's just attacked the car. Yeah.
Well, okay.
Well, reasonable. I use the term loosely. But.
Yeah, right. Well, I would like to have my keys, but if this thing is distracted, maybe could I see from this angle, depending on how the car is parked, could I see that Will and Wally have gone back to the house?
Yeah, if you just kind of pop your head up and you can look right through the windows of the car and you can see them backing back towards the house now.
Okay, yeah, I would do that since they hadn't joined me at the car yet.
Yep.
Well, one last drag of
And
my
you might
hand.
even get a vision of part of the creature there on the other side of the car,
Gotcha.
near the rear wheel.
Well, I'll drag my hand through the mud one more time looking for my keys, and if I
Sure.
don't grab them this time, I'm
Give me
running
another
back to
luck
the
roll.
house. I will do that. Oh, I got it.
You got it. Boom. Yep,
Yay,
you find them.
44.
They're
Woohoo!
like half submerged in mud. You've accidentally buried them while you were looking for them before, partially. And yeah, you pull them out with a wet and mud dripping away off of them. So yeah, you pick up the keys. You want to climb into the car? You can do that.
If I've got the keys, yeah, I've got the key. I've got the door open.
Yep. Okay.
I'm going to jump in the car and try to start it up and try to drive away. I know that it may have damaged the car. Started leaning away from me. I know, but
Yep.
It's a car.
So you kind of popped up. You looked and saw your friends moving away. You reached down. You pulled the keys out of the mud. Climb in the car. Turn the wheel. Give me a drive auto roll, because this is a high stress situation. This is to start the car out without accidentally flooding it by hitting the gas too heavily right off the bat, or
Yeah, I failed. I got a 74.
you try the first time, you didn't have the clutch in properly and the car stalled out, and then you try again and you flood it out, and now it's just turning over and making that really drowned out kind of sluggish sound that the car does when you pump too much gas into it without starting it. And it's Will's turn. Will, you guys see this. You see him climb into the car and pull. You hear the sound of the car door closing. You see the car jolt briefly as he tries to start the first time, and now you just hear it turning over and over and over again and not starting, as you see the creature now crawling up onto the car.
Dad, we need to let's just get indoors. Presumably it's still chucking it down with rain as well, right?
Yeah, and the air raid siren's still going off too.
That possibly doesn't really register.
Really loud and really annoying.
It doesn't. Yeah, that maybe
I can't do it justice with my voice.
Register in my consciousness, or at least if it does, I don't associate it with what's going on here. Dad, we need to let's go in the house and close the door, okay? Come on, let's go, and just shuffle him.
And I'm perfectly fine with that. So
Yep,
I will
into the house and close
follow
the door.
along. Yes, Mummy.
And that will be the last round of your two having your delusions. Next round, you'll see each other as you are again. But so you just go along with him. You're into the house, close the door. The door. Oh, give me a luck roll. Which one of you has a lower luck? You had a 65 luck, right, Wally?
Yeah, mine's 40.
Will, roll your luck, Will.
Yeah. 56. Nope.
Yeah, unfortunately, the door no longer latches properly, and you can see part of the door jamb is broken from probably from when Jordan came running away from the spider. The spider, the
8-foot-long
spider centipede thing that's now crawling on top of Jordan's car.
I'm trying very hard not to think about that. Just
don't worry, I'll keep reminding you.
Shut the door as best I can and kind of edge towards the only source. Actually, I've got my LED. No, I would have put that by the campfire. I wouldn't keep wearing that. Oh, no, I went out to the car with it. So I have got still my LED torchlight on, but I'm going to go to the one area where there's an independent source of light and warmth, which is the room we were in to begin with.
Right, yeah. And the fire is burning away slowly but surely. It's starting to build up a little bit even. And your cooker's still on in there too.
Good.
Back to the car. So the creature climbs up on top of the car and moves around to the front and makes an attack against the windscreen, or windshield for our American colleagues here. Only hits with one of its attacks. Okay. And so it's now on top of the car. You hear it moving. You can even see like parts of the roof kind of indent in as it crawls over the top of the car, Jordan. And one of these, how were they described? They were like pinchers, not pinchers, talons. One of the talons at the tip of one of these legs batters against the windscreen. It puts a small crack right in front of your face. The windshield. Sorry. What would you
Jordan,
like to do?
try to start the car again.
Okay, give me another drive auto roll. This is going to require a hard success.
I got it. I got a 21.
Nice. Yep. You get it fired up. I don't know.
All right. If it started, this
You're in
thing.
England, it doesn't make that kind of noise.
Well, that's actually a good thing, probably, because this would be it had destroyed the left rear passenger tire and/or wheel. Correct. The
Right. Yeah.
passenger
What about the drive wheel?
Right. Well, unless it's a small front wheel drive European model of some sort. I don't know.
They're all front wheel drive, pretty much in Europe. Pretty much, unless you buy like a fancy fucking sports car or something.
Right.
Like
well, in that case,
but for the most part, they're all front wheel drive. They're almost all 4-cylinder. And I'm sure you as a bartender probably drive a 4-cylinder. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So, it's a decent size one. It's like a sedan, maybe. Might be a Renault or a Skoda or something. I don't know. But
well, Jordan will once he gets the car started, he will throw it into reverse and pop the clutch, and as much as this thing will lurch toward the rear to try to throw this beast off the hood.
Give me another drive auto roll.
Okay.
It's raining really hard. It's really dark. The ground has gotten super muddy already, and
that's a big thing.
Flash flood conditions, and you're missing one of the rear tires, and the car starts to move back. It goes back like a couple of feet and stops as the rear end kind of hits mud, and you're stuck. You feel stuck anyway. Can't go back any further. And we go to Will and Wally back inside the house.
What the hell are you doing here, Dad? When did you get in from Hong Kong?
He's not your dad anymore. Now you see Wally. Both of your delusions end simultaneously. It just happens to be the way I rolled them this round.
I sort of gently take my arm from off round his shoulder. Let us never speak of this again.
What is going on? You were my mother. What the hell?
What are we doing back in here? We were outside. Where's Jordan? Can we hear the car?
Yeah, you hear the sounds of the car revving, quite high revolutions, and you hear the sound of tires spinning and mud being thrown. Eight tires spinning and mud being thrown.
That fucking barman's going to leave us here. Quick! And I run for the door.
Okay.
I will follow.
Yeah, so you swing open the door again, and again you see the car. It's now leaning a little bit to the back left side as it's missing pretty much nearly the entire wheel in that area. Definitely the entire tire at least, and the wheel's damaged. It's kind of leaning on that back left side, and you see the mud flying up at the front by the driver's side, where the drive wheel is. I think drive wheel's on the right side, isn't it, Neil? On our cars?
I don't know. I don't drive in real life.
Jesus.
I have no idea.
I don't know. I'm assuming it's the right front. I can't remember drive wheels on the driver's side or drive wheels on the passenger. It makes sense for it to be on the driver's side. So yeah, you see mud flying up anyway in front of the car where the car seems to be stuck and is just throwing mud as he's trying to back up. You can see the white lights on the back as he's in reverse. And you see the huge 8-foot long camel spider-like looking thing attacking the windscreen, which it does again. This time it hits with 2 of its legs for 6 more damage. It's a total of 8 damage. So there's 2 more big cracks now spread across the windscreen. It hasn't broken completely yet on you, Jordan, but it's all 3 cracks that it's made with its last 2 rounds of attacks are starting to spiderweb into other little cracks. And you know that sound, kind of like ice cracking when you're walking on it.
Yeah. Did the car stall out or did it just bog down?
It just got stuck, just bogged down. It hasn't stalled out yet. What are you doing this round?
I'm going to try to pull forward. So I'll
Okay, give me a
shift
drive
it.
roll.
Okay. I got a 37, so made it. Success.
Okay. Yeah, so it starts to move forward. At first, it spins a little bit, but then it catches and it starts to drag the car forward. Not anywhere near speed, kind of sluggishly since it's missing a back tire and all that. But it starts to move forward. Yeah. What do you plan to do?
I would like to get up to a little bit of speed, depending on what kind of road we're on and how
Well,
far it is to the nearest turf.
there is a path if you drive up here. There is a path that leads kind of into the woods, into the forest. You want to start driving that way? That's straight ahead of you. Or you can turn right and try to go towards a church, or
basically, I want to build up a little speed and then make a sharp right turn.
okay. So you're
Try
probably
to throw
you're
this
probably
thing
trying
off
to turn around towards the main road. That's
Right.
towards the real road, not just the little path.
Right.
Main road is again a loose use of the term, but yeah. Okay, cool. So you guys will see the car starting to move forward now, and he's bringing it around back to the road, with the creature still on top, wailing away at the windscreen. The siren sound is still going, which the bright side to the siren sound is that it's drowning out the sound of the creature's shriek, which is good for you because the creature's shriek actually causes sanity rolls. But yeah. So the air raid siren is still going. It's been going what now for like four rounds or something, 3-4 rounds. And we go to Will and Wally again. You're standing there in the doorway. You see him driving the car around a little bit with the creature still on the roof. What do you want to do?
You bastard! Don't you dare leave us here! I'm running down the path, sprinting for the
But he's
car.
bringing that thing with him. It's not all bad.
Too late. I'm gone.
Okay. Yeah, you're running towards the car.
Yep.
Fair enough. This is great. Wally, do you run after him or do you just let him go?
No, I'm going to stay there because that thing is going with the car. So, I mean, yeah, it's going to suck when you have to walk, but if that creature is gone, then I'm happy with that.
Yep. And I fully support splitting the party at all.
And I will never, ever, ever tip Jordan again. If he leaves.
Excellent. The creature makes another attack at the windscreen. Only one claw again this time for only 1 damage. Wow. So a fourth crack going across the windscreen. It has to be on the verge of shattering in your face, but it's still holding together for the moment. And you're back onto the kind of roadway. So you're going to drive and get up some speed. You go ahead and tell me what you do.
I want to get up to maybe, I don't know, be to where I can shift into second gear, so I've got a decent little head of speed, and I want to just make it as sharp a turn as I possibly can to try to sling this thing off the hood, and then double back around to the house where Wally and Will are.
Awesome. Give me a drive roll.
Bound to fail, but we'll give it a shot. Oh, a 30! I did it.
You did it. So yeah, you slam on the brakes and swing it around, and you hear over the top, and then it's quiet. But you can see out the passenger side window as you look to your left. You see the creature tumbling, and it hits road and starts road burning basically and tumbling on the road, kind of towards the church as you turn back towards the house.
Yep.
And you see Will running towards you. Full speed.
Well, whenever I reach Will, I will stop for him. So.
And the air raid siren stops. Also. And the creature tumbles for a little ways and then gets up, and it lets out another horrible shriek, and then it runs off towards the nearest abandoned house, which is the one kind of in between the church and Raven Hall, if you look at the map there. It runs towards that house and smashes in through the front window, knocking out a couple of boards on its way in, and disappears inside that house. Will, you get to the car.
in the pouring
He's
rain.
stopped.
In the pouring rain, with my LED lights sort of throwing up this incredibly white glare, just sort of throw myself into the nearest available door, slam it behind me, and just sort of scramble away from the door. So I'm in the car, but as far as possible from any given door.
So you're almost on Jordan's lap. It's a little bit uncomfortable with the gear shift there.
Yep, quite possibly.
And his left hand on the gear shift.
All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, Jordan's already going. It's, you know,
Where are you going?
what there's toward the house to try to convince Wally to get in the car.
Okay, cool. So you drive up.
Yeah, and as soon as I saw the creature fly off the car and him coming back this way, I started running towards them.
Awesome. Yep. So he meets you halfway, gets in the car, climbs in the back seat, I guess.
Yep.
So as not to sit on Will's lap. And now all three of you are in the car. What are you doing?
Jordan will turn to Will and Wally. Any objections we leave right now?
None
None.
whatsoever.
He's completely freaked out, and he's done.
Don't blame him. I don't blame him. Okay, so you start to drive out, and you get. Give me spot hidden rolls. You get a penalty die since you're driving, Jordan, but the other two get just normal spot hidden rolls. As you drive past Raven Hall, trying to make your way back down the road to get the fuck out of here.
Well, Wally is apparently cowering low in the car because I rolled a 98. I can't even see outside of the vehicle.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Jordan rolled a 70 and an 80 with his penalty roll, so
So the
failed.
80 is what it takes. Yep. So Jordan doesn't know he's too focused driving. What about you, Will? How did you do?
76, fail.
Fail. Okay. So you're driving, and you get kind of to the southern edge of our little blown up map there, and there is high water and mud across the road. You gonna give it a go?
Oh yeah, definitely. He's just
All right.
He doesn't. There's no way that's going to stop him.
Cool. Give me a drive roll with 2 penalty dice, please.
Oh, 97. He's failed.
97. So boom, you hit the water. You feel the car stall out. It starts to drop down a little bit, and then it starts to float for a few seconds, and then it starts to sink, and water starts rushing in through whatever cracks are available. It's probably slow at first, but yeah, you've driven right into a bit of a flash flood here, and the car is sinking to water higher than the windows. What would you like to do?
Probably start to cry at this point would be what Jordan would. But I would say he would actually, once water starts getting in the car, he curses a couple times and starts to climb out of the car.
Rolling down the window?
Yep.
Fortunately, the electric still works, so you're able to get the windows down, and you start climbing out of the car. And when you get out, you're basically in water about a little over 5 foot deep.
Okay.
And you're like, how did the water get so deep here so fast? And you look and you see, like, the clouds are just mental, like something like out of Fantasia. When you look up and see these rolling black clouds, lightning flashing, rain is torrential. You look in the distance and you can see trees that have fallen and are now floating in the water, and it's really quite flooded as far as you can see ahead of you. And you can look back and kind of see up on the hill a little bit. You see a couple of abandoned houses in Raven Hall and more abandoned houses in St. Hilda's Church. And then a little bit higher up the cliffs, then there's the trees. And beyond that, then somewhere is the sea. And the other two guys, are you getting out of the car?
Oh, yes.
Great. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Is anybody like shorter than 5.5 feet tall? Nobody's particularly short, are they?
No, Jordan's not.
Good.
No, I kind of envisaged my size, which is what, 60 something, 65 was mostly height.
Okay, cool.
rather than
No problem.
density.
Then you don't have to
Yeah,
make a
but-
swimming check.
75. I'm not real tall. I'm not real fit either, but
Yeah.
I'm definitely taller than that.
Good. Yep. You don't require a swim check then, anyway, as you're all standing here in water up to your chest or chin, nearly, depending on your height, looking around and seeing the site which I have just described. The air raid siren has now, you know how they kind of continue to wind down? It's now faded out completely and there's no more sound. You don't hear any shrieking sounds. The only sound you hear is the sound of this torrential rain splashing off the water all around you. The kind of maybe bubbling sound as the car sinks down low enough to where the roof of the car is just about to disappear under the water. Yeah, and I think it's a good spot to take a quick bio break. Yeah.
Cool. Yep.
All right.
Smoke if you got him. I will turn my camera off like such, so anybody who's watching this or is watching this in future knows that when I turn that off again, like so, but not really yet, that's when we will have resumed the game. So we'll pick it back up in a few minutes.
All right.
Back soon.
Same. I'll take a quick look over the comments. Just give a shout out to Chris2358 and to my good friend Nicholas Dawson, who have popped into the chat and said hello to us. Cheers, lads. Thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying so far. And yeah, I'll take my bio break real quick and then we'll resume. All right, how we doing, lads?
Yep, I'm back.
Cool. Whew. That was the most frenetic little bio break I've ever taken. I
I'm back.
poured another liter of beer, made myself the most Irish snack possible, the crisp sandwich, which is just cheese and onion crisps or potato chips, if you prefer, on buttered bread. Tucked my kid into bed.
I think if I was going to give you full props, it would have to be What's-Its.
What's it's?
Yeah, in the sandwich.
No, we don't have What's-Its, I don't think. I'm not familiar with them. For
they're
full
kind of
Irish props, I would have to use Tato Crisps, which is a brand of potato crisps here. But I didn't. I used something else. But yeah. Oh well.
What's-Its are kind of the equivalent of Cheetos cheese puffs.
Ah, right. Yeah. But see, that wouldn't be very Irish. You know, Irish are all about the cheese and onion crisps. You know.
Yeah. That's
Yeah. They're not so much into the cheesy poofs.
It's yes, one of Bella's lunches of choice at the weekend. No, don't be ridiculous.
It's a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
So is everybody back?
No,
I'm back.
Oh, Scott's back. Joe? No, Joe.
Okay.
Yeah, there's Joe. Cool, everybody's
Just-
back.
Just got back. Had to walk the dog, which was actually not a euphemism. Had to literally walk the dog. The yellow lab demanded attention. So, but now
That's okay. That's okay.
good timing.
Exactly. Very good. Now, you guys are standing in chest to neck deep water, watching your car shrink in front of you, or sink in front of you, I should say. And yeah, the sky is only lit by the occasional flash of lightning. Probably a little unsettling.
Yeah, high ground.
I'd like you all to give me a Constitution roll first, as you're trying to make your way out of the water.
94 fail.
93 fail.
Ooh, yikes. Wally, third time's a charm.
Well, I was better, but it was still 90.
Still a fail. Wow, you all rolled 90 plus. Each of you loses 1 hit point just from the sheer, just you're soaked, obviously, now to the bone. I don't care what kind of coat you're wearing, Will. You're standing in water almost up to your clavicle anyway. You're soaked, and it's cold, and it's miserable, and so you're going to lose a hit point of damage, basically to cold, wet damage. Hypothermia, call it. As you can easily start walking back towards Ravenscar, though, to get out of the water. Yeah.
Over the storm and the water and the general sounds off the Noises to Be Frightened By album, Jordan kind of yells over, yeah, I mean, back to the house. Logic being there's some gear at least in that one house, right? You know, and the horrid segmented centipede spider thing came out of a corner in that house and then went into another house. So I'm going there.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. At least whatever gear we can salvage that we had brought in,
Right.
we need to.
Yes, whatever. Let's just get out of the rain.
Now, I'd like you all to make spot hidden rolls with a bonus die, please, as you're making your way back towards the abandoned house where you had left most of your gear, and some of your gear lying in the road outside of it. Which, by the way, if you look at the map, you see the 2 houses that are pointed to as abandoned houses. It's the one on the right.
Okay, that's the one we're in, correct?
That's the one you're moving towards. Yes.
Yeah, the one we were in. Okay. Jordan got a 7, which is a critical success or
Brilliant.
Extreme success.
Anybody else succeed?
16, which is just a regular success.
Yep.
24 hard success.
Brilliant. You all succeed. So you all notice as you're walking back towards that abandoned house, Raven Hall, which dominates the southern portion of this small little old abandoned village, there is what looks like a light in one of the upstairs windows. Now, granted, okay, no, Raven Hall. Let me tell you about Raven Hall. Raven Hall is actually a 4-story building if you include the attic. So there's a first floor, a second floor, a third floor, and an attic. It's constructed from brown sandstone. You can tell, even from outside, that the center of the roof looks to have caved in. The two edges of the front and rear of the building are constructed in semicircles. And there are 4 windows in the front. If you kind of walk along the side, you'll see there's 2 windows on the side of each, of each floor, essentially. The front, which is the south side, kind of facing you as you're walking back, not facing you exactly, but it's just to your right as you're walking back towards that abandoned house. There's also a set of double doors in between the 2 windows on the first floor. Granted, mind you, sorry, I should say on the ground floor. Yeah, this is all very confusing. It would be what we'd call the ground floor in Europe. You would call it the first floor in America. But yeah. On the second floor, there is in a window in the southwest, actually 2 windows, the window on the south and the window on the west wall, the southwest corner of Raven Hall. Looks to be some kind of a flickering light, like a gas light is on in there or something. Now, you can do that if you want. I'm just telling you what you see.
But that would not be in route to the abandoned house that we have taken over. It would be out of our way.
Yeah, it's off to the right. It's on the other side of the main road if you look at the map.
But if I read the map correctly, we'd have to, and assuming that we're quite sensibly staying on even an overgrown, weed-choked road, we'd actually walk closer to the hall, approaching the house, than struggling to get across country in the dark and the rain, right?
Yeah, if you're sticking to the road, you're going to go near the hall for sure. Yep, absolutely.
Well, that might not be a bad idea to check that out. I mean, there shouldn't be any sort of light up there, so who knows? We may have found Toby.
Yeah, maybe, or maybe another one of those. And then Jordan just starts looking for another club since he lost his previous cudgel. So he's looking on the ground for another sufficiently weighted stick.
Give me a luck roll.
Fail, 90.
No sufficient stick.
Well, that creature was in a dark house. I don't see that thing being able to make light somehow. So there might be a person in there.
That's true.
And let's face it, either he or us desperately needs rescue.
Oh, big lightning crash and flash of light.
Well, wherever we're going, let's go somewhere quick. Let's get out of this.
Sorry, I didn't mean to start you, Neil, but I kind of did.
That's enough to make up my mind. Look, do we really want to go back to the house where that whatever it was lurking, or would we rather go and try and find another human soul here?
I think we should see if there's another person in this other in the
Give me idea rolls, all of you.
That's
20,
a
that is
success.
a hard success.
Yep, success, a hard success. And how did you do, Neil?
11, extreme success.
Extreme. Boom! You guys run the gamut of successes. So you all remember, Raven Hall was the building that you found the brief mention in Wikipedia about as having some kind of a vampire legend or something to it, but. But yeah,
You know what? I'd take Gary Oldman over that fucking thing, whatever it was, any day. Shall we?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, let's go. So Jordan starts trudging through the mud toward Raven Hall.
yep, and
Yep.
you're all three completely drenched, and there doesn't seem to be any sign of a let up in the storm as the torrential rain continues to pour down as you walk towards the southern side of Raven Hall where the front doors are. And as you walk towards it, let me just see here. I think, did I set something up for this? Oh, yes, I did. Here it is. There we go. Can you all see that? Or do you want me to send it to you in the chat?
Oh, I can see it.
Yeah, I
see
can
it.
see it pretty good.
Okay, cool. So as you walk towards it, the one on the left there, that's the ground floor. As you kind of walk towards it, the double doors start to open inwards, swinging open. And you see a light, a flickering light, as a man seems to be standing there with a gas lantern. The man you see, his skin is deathly pale, and it clings to his face, giving him a skull-like appearance. He's wearing a tattered brown suit that looks to be of an age gone by. It's looks to be of like Victorian era kind of vintage. And he looks exceedingly old. I mean, look at him and you think, this guy could be 100 years old. You wouldn't be surprised. And he stands there in the semi-open double doorway, holding his gas lamp as high as he can and beckoning for you to come in.
Well, that's not unnerving at all.
No. It's just an old man. Come on.
Just a kindly old gentleman.
All right, I will approach the house. Thank you, sir, for your hospitality. We've had a bit of misfortune. Our car is currently in the river.
Yes, I saw. Quick, come in. It stalks the night. Quickly, you fool! I must close the door.
I will hurry and ask what exactly stalks the night. You prefer that big white creature thing?
As the three of you walk in, let's see, where is the front of the house. Let's see. So yeah, you walk into a foyer, as it were. Where's the proper description of this? Well, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna pull this up for myself. There we go. So you're walking basically into a lobby as he closes the doors quickly behind you with a significant effort on his part to get them closed. But they close with a good solid sounding thud and a click, which you find somewhat reassuring. It's basically dark except for the light that he is holding in his hand. There is a ceiling chandelier which has fallen to the floor between the doors that you've just walked in and the staircase, which is right kind of in front of the doors. The large wooden staircase at the center of the foyer, with ornate banisters leading to a kind of a second floor area. You also would notice there is a door on the western side of the foyer, a door to the eastern side, and there's one door to the north, which is just to the left of the staircase. And the windows here are completely unbroken, no issues with them. And he looks to you in response to your question. Jordan, I think, was the one who asked it, and says, "You've seen it, the Shrieker. I heard you combating with it. Oh, how brave and foolish you must be."
I'm not sure about brave. We really didn't have a choice.
I saw your car sink. You will not be using it again, I'm afraid. Best to wait here, wait out the storm with the others until help can come.
Wait, others? What others?
Yes, the others. They're upstairs. The other survivors. All of them. They've run into it. All of them have survived.
Okay.
Excuse me, do you have a phone?
I'm sorry.
A phone, a landline.
I do not know what you speak.
Jordan leans over to Wally and is like, "Are there any other houses or buildings that are still yeah, I don't wait." So he turns back to the gentleman. So these other survivors, they came here tonight?
No. They've been here for some time. The most recent one came here maybe a week ago.
Well, that sounds like it might be our friend. That's the reason we come here, searching for him.
Your friend, what does he look like? You described Toby to him?
Yes.
Yes. He's upstairs. I'll take you to him. Follow me. And he begins to start to kind of slowly walk up the stairs with his gas lantern in hand, leaving you all in darkness if you don't follow him or provide your own light source.
Yeah, I guess I will follow the creepy old homeless squatter guy.
Yeah, same. Jordan will do the same.
So leading you up to the second floor. There we go. So this hallway balcony kind of area standing at the top of the rotted, creaking stairs. None of them give out on you, though, fortunately, Wally. And they feel a little bit more secure than they were in that other house anyway. It's kind of centered onto another staircase, which leads up to the third floor. However, you can see looking up that other staircase. Actually, if you look at the map. Oh, wait. Yeah. If you look at the map on the right there, you can see how the stairs come out, and then there's another staircase that starts to lead up. Unfortunately, it ends in rubble, that other staircase. There are two doors along the western wall, and there's one door near the southeastern corner. There's also a short corridor between the eastern walls. Oops. So that's beyond the door. You can't really see too well into that. You can just see that there's a little area there and a little corridor. The whole east side, unfortunately, looks relatively inaccessible due to where the ceiling has collapsed, or the floor, if you prefer, to the next level. Because you're now on what would be the first floor for us Europeans, or the second floor for the Americans. But yeah, you can see where basically all that little kind of brown area on the map there, that's where the collapse has happened. But he will lead you to the door on the kind of southwestern portion here. It's real close to where the stairs actually land off. If you come off the stairs onto the landing here in the hallway, it's pretty much straight to the right. And he'll lead you over to there and stand there holding his lantern and gesture, please, your friend and the others, they're in there.
Why do I have the Monty Python milkman sketch going through my head at this point? Here, this distal here. You haven't got a towel, have you?
What? No.
Will's shoulders sink in defeat. In here.
Yes, there. And you look at the door. The door has obviously been used. Unlike a lot of the other doors you've seen in this area, this door has been used quite recently and frequently.
All right, open it and call through. Toby, mate, are you there?
So Will begins to walk into the room. What are you guys doing, Wally and Jordan?
Jordan is still a little unnerved by the proceedings, but he's, I guess, standing in the hallway behind Will with Wally and the kindly old gentleman.
Yeah, I don't really see any need to go in as well because will be able to go in and get Toby and
Sure. Makes sense to me. Okay, so you two are both standing in the hallway there with the old man. As Will, you open the door and kind of look in. And this room is, you notice right away the windows are boarded up from inside. So there's boards on the inside of the windows here. There are tea chests littering the floor, behind which you can see a makeshift bed. Oh, no, wrong room. Sorry. Ignore that. The windows are boarded up from within. The room is littered with the desiccated corpses of about 14 people. Give me a sanity roll, please. That was a nice little change, wasn't it? Oops.
Ooh, 93.
Okay, so as your eye lights upon Toby's corpse, amongst the other 13 corpses, you lose 5 sanity points.
That's past my indefinite insanity.
Okay. Give me a D10 roll first for your bout of madness.
9.
Okay. Phobia. So this is going to work into 2 phobias, essentially, because you're going to have an indefinite phobia that's going to last permanently until you get treatment or so otherwise for it from your indefinite insanity. And you're also going to have a temporary phobia that's going to manifest itself immediately and intensely for the next 10 rounds. So what 2 phobias do you want to choose, or do you want me to help you choose?
Give me.
I have some ideas.
Give me a curtailed list of things that make it seem.
The thing that comes immediately to mind for the immediate intense 10 round, which is 1 full minute phobia, would probably be something to do with dead bodies, germs, something like that, since you're looking into a room with 14 dead bodies in it. For a more long-term phobia, given the events that have happened to you tonight, the first thing that comes to my mind would be like an arachnophobia, maybe, or some kind of an insectophobia, you know?
Yep.
Something like that. Creepy crawly phobia. I don't know what you'd call it, but that's just what comes to my mind.
Okay.
Are you cool with those?
Yes.
Yeah. So, ew, gross, dead bodies, dead Toby, dead bodies, disgusting. You lose your sanity. You obviously scream or something.
I actually, what I do is I very gently shut the door, turn to the old man and the other 2 who are standing on the landing with me, and sort of give a guilty half laugh.
As you do that, the old man himself, let's see here. Yes, he twists his hands and mutters some kind of a strange foreign-sounding word. And let's see, I'll roll odd or even. Joe, you're odd. Scott's even. Joe. So Jordan, give me a power roll, please.
Yeah, that's a big old fail. 82.
I got an extreme success. So, as he says this, and he's speaking calmly, but in a strange language and that you don't understand. You are struck suddenly, numb and dumb, just completely lost. You can't feel anything. You can't say anything. You can't move at all. Standing there in place. As Will closes the door and said, "What did you say, Will?"
I give a sort of guilty, sort of half laugh, embarrassed half laugh, and then sort of start sniffing at the back of my hand, which smells of rotting flesh. I'm rotting away. I'm dying, and just sort of start obsessively sniffing all over.
And Wally, give me a spot hidden roll.
That would be a success.
Okay, you noticed the old man's incantation, if you want to call it that, and gesture, and you notice that as soon as he completed it and twisted his hand in that jerking motion, that Jordan suddenly is stood there, dumbfounded, dumbstruck, unable to move. And I would also like you to give me a listen roll.
Nope, that is a failure. 89.
Okay. What would you like to do?
So, Will, what is in there? What's going on, guys? Jordan, you okay?
Jordan cannot and does not respond.
I'm gonna reach out, grab his shoulder, and give him a shake. Try to.
As you do so, the man speaks again, this time in your direction, and twists his hand. And I'd like you and Will both to make listen rolls while this is happening, and while you're going to shake your friend. And
All right, success on my listen.
okay, you hear some kind of a strange chittering sound, and you hear creaking on the stairs. And you reach over. How did you do in your power roll?
I did not make one yet.
Go ahead,
That's going to be a failure.
a failure?
Yep.
Okay. Loses to my normal success. So then you too are dumbfounded, dumbstruck, unable to move as your hand rests on Jordan's shoulder. Give him a quick little jostle, and then you're struck by the same spell, unable to move. Will, how did you do on your listen roll?
Failed.
Okay, so you don't hear the chittering sound and the creaking sound on the stairs. Give me a spot hidden roll as well.
Fail.
You don't notice that the old man is using magical spells to incapacitate your companions. What would you like to do?
I'm obsessed. I can smell rot, gangrenous stench, and I start peeling off my clothes, looking for the source of it. Take this heavy sodden jacket off, throw it aside, start sort of rattling through my clothing.
So quite appropriately, as Wally and Jordan are struck, unable to move by this spell, Will starts to take off his clothes. Excellent.
Jesus, where's it coming from? Where's that smell coming from?
Yeah. So you get your shirt off, you get your trousers off, you're taking off your shorts, But no, you got to take your shoes off, right? You take your shoes off, then you take your trousers off. You're there in your shorts, basically. Give me a spot hidden roll with a bonus die because it's pretty hard to miss.
Well, that's either 60 or 100.
So it's a 60.
It's a fail.
Okay, so you don't notice. Wally and Jordan can both see, but they can't react as the giant insectile centipede spider-like thing climbs to the top of the stairs and turns, looking towards you, Will. The old man kind of slinks back and slinks through a door into a room, not the southwest corner, but the northwest corner room. Yeah, the northwest corner, disappearing from sight. And then the shrieker begins to shriek. And now you know it's there because you don't have any choice but to know it's there. You can't not hear that shrieking sound. And you will definitely see it there. You've already rolled sanity rolls to see it, so I won't make you roll sanity rolls for seeing it again. How would you like to react, Will? Unfortunately, Wally and Jordan, you're still just dumbstruck. You can see, you can hear, but you can't feel anything and you can't speak. You can't really move. You're numb and dumb.
I think what's probably happened is that I've got my trousers round my ankles, sort of looking for this stuff. So it's very difficult for me to get up and run away. So I'll just slide on my ass away from the stairs, away from this thing, just pushing myself with my hands.
Back into the room with all the dead bodies?
No, anywhere else.
So along the wall towards the other room where the old man went into. Okay.
Yep, I probably didn't even notice that he'd gone in there, but yes, away from this creature.
Excellent. How smart is the creature? Smart enough to realize that you're the only one moving, so it's going to move towards you. Second round of action, it continues to shriek in this discordant, multi-pitched tone, horrible sound that seems to even go beyond human limits sometimes, but you can feel as much as you can hear. It's going to require a sanity roll, since this is the second round. For all of you, even those of you who are currently magically dumbfounded.
Oh, for fuck's sake. 80, fail.
So you will lose 3 more sanity points there, Will.
98.
98. That was for Wally, right?
Yep.
3 sanity loss, please, Wally.
I got a 12 for Jordan.
Jordan passes, doesn't lose any sanity. Fair enough. Wally, that puts you past your threshold, though, right? I think. Past your 20% threshold?
Yes.
So you also are going to develop some kind of a lingering insanity that's going to continue on until you can get it treated for proper removal. Anything in mind that you prefer, or anything that makes sense for the situation more to you? More so than just what I said before about the kind of creepy crawly phobia. We can go with that if you wish. As a default.
I don't know. I'm kind of, since there's this huge torrential downpour, thunder, lightning, I think I'm going to be associating thunderstorms with this forever now.
Great. You now have a phobia of thunderstorms, which is brilliant because it's currently a massive one happening outside. And we go then to the top of the order. Okay, so you started to move away, Will. It's the creature's turn. The creature will attack you with its claw-tipped, tentacle-like arms. Yeah, do you want to fight back or dodge?
I'm essentially sitting on the ground with my trousers around my ankles.
Yeah, scuttling along on your...
I think either of those options are probably not available to me.
Okay. Unfortunately, well, no, I'll give it a bonus die, actually. Yeah, the creature still manages to miss. It's coming at you with these tail-tipped legs. They're not very coordinated. It's taking out chunks of wooden paneling from the walls next to your head as you're still sliding along, just barely dodging it. It's like inches away from you. and continues to move towards you.
Yeah, my movement has a certain irrational panic about it, so maybe that's what's confusing it.
Yeah, that really annoys it. And what do you do on your action?
Keep backing away, sliding across the floor, backing away until I come to a surface where I can't back away anymore.
Sure, so you back away, and boom, you get to the door, which is closed. But you get back to that other door. Oh, well, no, you get to another wall. Sorry, there's a little wall that's in the way. So you scoot around that, and you can see the door that the old man disappeared into, but you can't quite get to it yet. And the creature is going to blast you with one of those. Nice, yes. It's going to blast you with a magic spell. So you need to make an opposed power roll, please. I got a normal success.
Sorry, fail.
Fail? Okay. Yep. So that's going to be its remaining 6. So it's going to do 6 points of damage. As, again, similar to what happened to Jordan, I think it was earlier, you're hit with a sudden terrifying blast of energy, which causes your flesh to blacken and wither. This is flesh all over your body now, since you're pretty much fully exposed, except for what's under your shorts. 6 points of damage. What's your maximum hit points?
Yeah, that's a major wound.
Major wound as well? Okay, so yeah, you're suffering from hemorrhaging. Yeah. And you're bloody all over. I think kind of like a Hellraiser scene where the flesh is just like ripped from their body and everything. Yeah, it's pretty gross and awful and painful.
At this point, I panic enough to actually stand up and try and run tragicomically towards the door.
Okay, very good. You reach the door, and it's locked.
It's just rattled manically at the handle. Let me in, let me in, let me in.
And the creature... Oh, wait, bonus die. Oh, okay, yeah, no, the bonus die does work. Okay, cool. For a minute, I thought I missed again, which would have been hilarious. Only hits you with one of its claws, however, out of the 3 that flail at you. But that claw does hit you for 6 points of damage.
If you would care to describe how it eviscerates me.
So it drives this tentacled leg with the talon on the end right through your back, through your chest, and into the door. And it pulls it off and kind of lifts you limply up and starts moving in the direction towards the other 2. Still carrying you on the end of one of its impaled on the end of one of its legs.
My hand still grasps for the brass door handle. It gets further and further away. The end.
The creature moves forward. It actually kind of reaches up, goes right as you guys are still standing there. You can still see everything. It opens the door into the other room. And if you kind of can get a sidelong glance in there, you'll see that there are many dead bodies in that room. And it casually just kind of tosses Will's body into there, leaving the door wide open. Then it turns to the nearest one of you, which, let's see, odd or even again. We'll go with Jordan. And Jordan, it attacks you and hits you, of course, for 2 claws for a total of 3 points of damage as it hits you with 2 of its talons. Is that enough to kill you?
Not quite.
Okay. You are no longer dumbfounded. You can move again and act because that breaks the spell that had you enthralled before.
Do we need to make sanity checks now that we can see the dead bodies in there?
Well, you should make a sanity roll for having seen Will get killed. Yeah, actually.
Okay.
Wally should roll that too, actually.
Yeah, that's a failure.
Yeah, big failure, big 90. Yeah.
You lose 5, Joe. You lose 2, Wally. Joe, give me a D10 roll for your bout of madness.
Awesome.
Oh, Wally, you were insane too, yeah? Yeah, you give me a D10 roll for your bout of madness as well.
That's a 2.
So, Wally, you get a psychosomatic disability. Let's see. Blindness, deafness, or loss of use of limbs. So I'll roll a D3. We'll go with the second one, which is deafness. You are struck deaf. You can no longer hear anything. and that is going to last for you, Jordan. Sorry, for 8 rounds. Wally, how did you roll on yours?
I got a 4, so I am paranoid now. Awesome.
Yep, you snap into paranoia, which sucks because you can't move. And that'll last for 4 rounds for you. Now, it is your turn, Jordan. What would you like to do?
But
You can't hear.
Suddenly can't hear anything. And the creature just threw Will's impaled corpse into the room with the now desiccated corpses.
Before
correct?
striking you with 2 of its talons, correct?
Right. Am I impaled or was I just wounded?
You're not impaled because you're still alive.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm going to try to get down the stairs. I'm flight.
Actually, now that I think of it, when you were hit down below to 0 hit points, Neil, it would have been a Constitution roll to see if you died or were just unconscious. But we can go with dead. That's fine.
Yeah, death is a good end to an adventure like
You
this.
turn and you start running down the stairs. Okay, so is the creature going to pursue you, or is it going to attack Wally? Let's roll. Well, you know what? It's feeling kind of lazy now. It's going to attack Wally. So you run down the stairs, down into the lobby, and you see the double doors in front of you. Okay, Jordan, so you're running towards those double doors. As you do so, the creature attacks Wally, hitting him with, let's try to roll not askew, 2 of its talons for a total of 4 and 1. So 5 points of damage total there, Wally. Is that enough to knock you below 0?
Oh, not even close.
Okay, then you are
I'm still at 5.
and you're able to move now all of a sudden.
All right.
And of course you're paranoid. But
Yep.
And so then we go, boom, back to Jordan at the top of the order. Well, sorry, top of the order, after the monster. Top of the order is Jordan. So Jordan, you run up to the double doors, try to get out the door. They're locked.
What about all the windows aren't boarded up on this floor because we saw flickering light.
That was upstairs. You saw the flickering light. However, let me just double check because the lobby doors were they? So the lobby itself, the windows are unbroken, but they do not seem to be boarded up. The windows are not boarded up.
Is there an end table or a small chair or something that I could pick up in my weakened, wounded state and throw through a window?
Give me a luck roll.
Okay. Another roll to fail. Excellent. And I made it. Hey, 46.
Yes, there is. There happened to be like a kind of, like one of those little small 4-legged end tables.
Right. Yeah. In that case, when he's next able to do something, he will grab that up and he will grab it and throw it at the nearest window.
Smashing it into the window. Give me a luck roll.
Okay. Fail.
Unfortunately, the window was stronger than the table, and the table shatters, and the window does not. Wally.
All right. Well, let's see. I saw Jordan go downstairs. He's clearly in on the plot, so I don't want anything to do with going there. So now, to the other side of the upper floor, is there a little? You said something about.
There's a doorway there.
Little bit of a doorway.
There's an opening. You might be able to run across those other
Yeah,
stairs
I'm going to try to
onto the
run
banister and jump across.
do that.
Give me a jump roll.
That would be a 0-8.
I think that is a success, right? What's the base
That
jump?
is going to be a success. Yeah,
You make it.
got to
An
be
amazing,
Yep.
feat of
That is actually that is
adrenaline.
a hard success.
Yeah, you run along the floor there, the southern end of the hallway, up onto the stairs, which would lead to the third floor, but end in a pile of rubble, onto the banister, and across to that little door in the southeast there to that little room, and land into the ruins of an old bedroom. And you can see, let's see, does it show on your map too? Yeah, and you can see there's like a little walkway between the two bedrooms, and there's basically it's two bedrooms on this wing. Where do you want to go?
I'm going to see if there's anything remotely useful in here that I could use as a weapon. Other than that, are the windows
Rotted furniture, busted up? Yeah, you could bust up a piece of wood.
Are the windows
a pointy stick, in the words of Monty Python?
Excellent. Are the windows in here boarded up?
The windows in here, the windows over here are not boarded up and are in fact partially broken out. Easily broken out the rest of the way with your pointy stick.
Excellent. I want to run over to go through to the back side of the house.
Okay.
And see if there's anything in that little room in between or in the other.
Just
bedroom.
Ruined furniture, old busted up, rotten stuff, rotten wood, and so, but nothing else, nothing of any particular interest.
Is there like a bed sheet or anything on the bed, or is it just all rotten?
There is, but it's in pieces if you try to move it. It's rotten completely.
I'm just gonna break out the window and look out and hope that there's like a drain pipe or something, and try to climb down.
Nope. No luck. Well, give me a luck roll. We're gonna call it though we'll call it a hard success. We'll leave it to luck. How'd you roll?
All right, let's see. My luck is 65. I rolled an 86, so no.
Nope. You're gonna have to drop 10 feet down.
All right. Well, we'll do that.
The creature is in pursuit and has leaped across, and you can hear it moving around in one of the rooms behind you. You think?
All right, I'm heading out the window and trying to climb down.
Okay. You go out. Do you have a climb skill?
I do, but it is lower than what I rolled.
Okay. Yep, you fall, hitting the ground for 1 point of damage. Not bad. You managed to tumble appropriately as you hit the ground. And you're now on the ground there, again, looking at your map, on the north side of Raven Hall. So you can see abandoned houses to your left, abandoned houses ahead of you, and you can see St. Hilda's Church up ahead of you. In the meantime, back to Jordan. So you shattered your little table against the window, and unfortunately the window did not break. It's old, thick, like lead windows, What do you want to do next?
I'll look at the window and see if I can just open it, which is probably what I should have done to begin with.
Yeah, you go turn the latch. It turns. You can open it.
I open the window and jump out.
You open the window and jump out. Great. Give me a listen roll.
That is a fail.
Oh, and for that matter, both of you give me sanity rolls, because you can still hear the shrieking of the shrieker. So
that is a success.
Good.
And that is a 98. I rolled so many 90s.
You lose 4 points of sanity, as you can still hear the sounds of the shrieker from within the house, even when you hit the ground below, Wally. Will, you go out the window. Or sorry, not Will. Rest in peace, Will. Jordan, you go out the window. And what do you do then?
I look around, kind of half hoping that I will see a car somewhere, knowing there probably isn't one. But
you see the lake into which your car has sunk.
Right.
Remember mournfully.
I will try to get away from Raven Hall and go back toward the abandoned house where we initially parked at the end of the driveway and tried to set up camp, and just basically trying to put distance between myself and Ravenhall and creepy old man and weird insect monster.
Yeah, you start running that way, and let me just see here. Does the creature... Okay. You start running towards the abandoned house. What are you doing, Wally, once you got to the ground outside? Which direction were you headed?
I'm going to make for the church.
You're moving for the church.
Yep.
Excellent. Okay, you start moving towards St. Hilda's church. Excellent. So, give me a spot hidden roll, Jordan.
Fail.
Okay. Unfortunately, with the storm and the paranoia, the fear, I should say, you don't actually notice Wally running across towards the church. You're focused on getting to that house. So, you'll get to the house first, Jordan. What do you do when you get to it? Door's open.
Go in the front door, close the door as best I can.
Mm-hmm.
Is the fire still burning?
Yes. It's burning really good now, actually.
Excellent.
Got some warmth and everything.
I will throw some more wood on the fire. And of course, look around to make sure that there's not another one of those things coming out of that pile of debris.
There isn't, however, you do see a dark, dank hole leading into the ground, through the floor and into the ground beneath the house. And it stinks.
Wow.
Give me a listen roll.
Okay. Oh, that's a big success. That's a critical success.
I
Extreme.
think you can hear a faint, distant shrieking sound coming from the hole.
Oh. In that case, the debris, the windows were busted in here, weren't they? The debris is probably wet.
The windows upstairs were busted. Downstairs windows were not. They were boarded up.
Oh, okay. Well, if the debris looks even remotely dry enough to burn, change of plan. Jordan is going to try to pull a couple of burning brands from the fire and throw them on the debris and burn this godforsaken house to the ground, because that's what he's going to do, and then he's going to run back outside.
Okay, you're going to try to get this house burning properly.
That's what he's going to do. He's going to throw flames onto the debris where the hole is.
So back to Wally. So as you're approaching the church, again, as I had said before, the church has a low stone wall surrounding the church and churchyard. There are ancient weathered gravestones, which you can see within the churchyard. The main building itself is made of dark brown bricks. It has a tall gabled roof with the cross that looks down over the entrance to the churchyard and the pathway. You can see on the west side of the building, there's an entrance. And the east side also has like a little one-story wing, which give me an idea roll.
Ooh, I made it exactly on the nose.
Okay. You think that would probably be like the kind of, you don't know what it's called off the top of your head, but that's like the apartment that the priest usually lives in on that east side, that little one-story wing. The west side here, you reckon, is probably the main entrance church. However, you do notice that all the windows and the doors are boarded up that you can see.
Of course,
you can't see the east wing at the moment. I mean, there might be a door on the east wing as well, you reckon, but you can't see it from here. What do you want to do?
I'm going to run to the back side of the church and see if there's anything open there. And if not, I will start pulling boards, trying to rip boards off of things. I want to.
When you say back side, do you mean north side, or do you want to
go
on the east side?
The north side, away from Ravenhall, so I have the church between me and
north side.
Ravenhall.
There are no entrances.
Okay. Then the east side.
The east side, there is a door, and it is not boarded.
Excellent. I will go in.
It's locked. You can try to pick the lock, or you can try to break it open.
Let's see.
I know,
Well,
it's very frustrating, isn't it?
yep. I have seen movies where they use a credit card to open a door that's locked with, so I will try that really quickly myself. And that is, oh, that was so close. I have a 0-1 for lockpick, and I rolled a 0-2.
You can spend 1 point of luck.
I will spend 1 point of luck.
Yeah, reduce your luck by 1 point. Spend 1 point
All
of luck.
right.
Boom. The door opens. Inside, entering from the east side, is the rectory. Everything is in darkness. Do you have any lights?
I do not.
No, you don't. It's dark. You can kind of see just here at the entrance from the flashes of lightning, like bare floorboards on the floor. And you think you get a glimpse of some peeling white wallpaper inside. There's a strong smell of mildew, but it's dark.
Well, that's right. I'm going to close the door behind me. And
Now you're in pitch black.
Yep. And if the blackness is better than the creature or the thunderstorm. So, yeah, I'm going to try to, if I can feel a locking mechanism, lock the door behind me so that nobody else can get in. And then I will crawl, I guess, along the floor, slowly trying with my hands, reaching out in front of me so I don't run into something face first, and try to get to the other side where the priest would live. Hopefully that there would be
that's
things
where you
in
are.
there.
You are on that side, right?
Oh, okay. I'm on that side. Never mind. Then yes, I will try to find like a dresser or something so I can like try to feel for things in there. Hope that I can find like a lantern and matches or something.
Okay, so you're reaching around. You're here in the well, okay, this is the rectory, but then there is basically there's a corridor you come to. Well, you're this is a corridor essentially, but there is the corridor. Oh, okay, no. Hold on a second. Let me look at something here. Sorry, 2 seconds. Apologies. Very insufficient. Oh, there's no map actually for this, just a description. Yeah, the rectory is the house that he lives in. Yeah, okay, cool. Just double checking. So yeah, so basically there's a little corridor here. So as you're kind of feeling your way around, there are basically 2 doors on one side. Let's see here, that is, and then there is another door on the other side. 1 door basically along the south and 2 doors on kind of the north side from here. And there is 1 door on the west side as well, which if your memory serves you correctly, should lead towards like the nave, the main area of the church. But you're fumbling around in the dark. So do you want to explore the door to the west, the door to the south, or one of the 2 doors to the north?
I'm going to go with the first door to the north.
Okay, cool. While you're working on that, Jordan, you've got the house burning. Go outside the house, I presume.
Yes.
Yep, and that house is burning.
In that case, I will go from here to the step back out of the front door, look around, see if I notice anything, looking for that creature. If I don't see the creature anywhere, I will try to make my way to the next large structure in town, which would be the church.
Okay, so you start moving towards the church, northeast of your current location.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, leaving this burning house in the torrential thunderstorm behind you. It's probably a pretty mad-looking scene. As you start to work your way towards the church, when you get there, you will see basically, because you're kind of coming from the southwest, so you can see there is a door on the west side. It is boarded up. The windows are all boarded up as well.
Okay. I'll go around the church until I can find an entrance.
Okay. When you get to the east side of the church, you will find a door that is not boarded up.
Going to try to get inside.
It is locked.
I will pound on the door.
Okay. Back in the church. So that first door to the north, you push it open and fall into another room, basically, Wally. Fumbling around, you can feel like little bits of furniture. They're kind of rotten and kind of old and mildewy and stuff, but not as bad as some of the others that you've come across. You find what you believe to be like it feels almost like a comfy chair. Like it was once a comfy chair, and it's not that comfy anymore thanks to the rot and mildew. But and there's a table. You feel a table. Fumbling around, all of a sudden you hear banging on the door outside.
Has my paranoia ended?
That was your short-term thing? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was only for 4 rounds.
Good. Well, shit. I have no idea who it is. I don't want to let anybody know that I'm in here if it's not.
Yeah. So what did you just kind of?
I'm gonna try to make my way back towards the door, quietly, and hope that maybe if it is Jordan, I can tell.
Give me a luck roll.
See, that's a 35, so that will be a success.
Excellent. Yep, you can make your way kind of back to that area, the main corridor of the rectory, where the door would be. You can hear the thumping quite loudly now, and you manage not to fall over anything in the process. So you're banging on the door, Jordan. Yes. And
Yep, absolutely.
what are you doing as you bang away? There doesn't seem to be any answer.
I'll kind of look around, see if there are any windows or anything that I might be able to gain access through. Still trying to keep an eye out for creepy old grandpas and bizarre spider centipede creatures.
Right. As far as you can tell, the windows are boarded up. Yep, the door. They also need to be boarded up on the outside.
All right, then I will pound and pull on the door a bit longer, trying to see if it'll.
Continues pounding on the door, Wally. You're not sure who it is. He has not identified himself. It could be Jordan. It could not be.
Well, I'm not sure if I can afford to take the chance that it is not Jordan. Pretty sure that it's not the creature, but I'm going to call out and ask who it is, because the old man didn't seem to be able to move well enough to be able to pound on the door like that.
All right. You hear a voice from the other side. Jordan, say, who is it?
Do I recognize the voice? Oh, wait, I'm deaf.
No, that was a temporary thing, wasn't it? Yeah, that only lasted for like...
Okay.
Maybe, even if it lasted 10 rounds, it's well over.
Okay, in that case, I'm not deaf. In that case, Jordan will scream if he can tell that it's Wally, or at least somebody who's not, a murderous creep. It's me, Jordan. Let me in.
Hold on. Let me unlock the door. I will unlock the door then.
Okay, and he swings the door open, and you can see into a very dark room. You see the probably slightly terrified face of Wally.
Get in here quick. Get out of the rain.
I do.
Yeah, good. And close the door. Oh, by the way, you were stuck in the rain. Give me a Constitution roll there, please, while you were stuck out in the rain for a while.
Okay.
Jordan?
That is a success.
Okay, cool. You're cold, but you didn't take any damage. So you close the door, and now you're in pitch black.
I will lock the door again.
And you hear the click of the locking door. You can see nothing. Do you have any light sources?
All Jordan had was his phone, which I'm sure was soaked and ruined.
It's trashed.
It's trashed.
Yeah, your phones were all trashed in the car.
Yep. Jordan turns to where he thinks Wally is in the dark and says, I set the house on fire.
Okay. Yeah, that seems fine. The one with the old man?
Oh, no, the first one. I'm not going back to that place.
Oh, well, I guess that's something. Hopefully if there were any more of those creatures that they'll burn.
Give me listen rolls.
Okay. That's right.
Nope.
Oh, big failure. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. By all means, please continue conversation.
Yeah, we got to get out of here. Yeah, we've got to go. Have you seen a car or anything at all? A couple of bicycles, a path that might lead somehow through the flood.
I have not seen anything, and I am not going out in that storm.
So we're just going to sit tight here.
Well, until the rain ends, I guess. But yeah, I can't go out there.
You hear a sudden crashing sound, and you feel yourselves sprayed with bits of wood detritus as something smashes to the west of you, essentially. Think of the doors on the east. So away from the door, something smashes on the other side of the corridor. You feel yourselves showered with wood chips. And you don't feel like you're alone. And suddenly a shrieking sound begins very nearby. And yeah, the creature will attack one of you. It will attack Odd. Odd is Jordan. It attacks Jordan. But it misses. I guess it's also suffering from the extreme darkness in this room. But you guys can feel the creature is now in the corridor with you and attempting to attack you as it's just smashed in, apparently from the main area of the church to the west of the rectory here. Top of the order is Jordan. What do you do?
Well, I'm guessing it's pitch black.
It is.
I don't know if I could tell where this thing was by how it tried to attack me.
Maybe you could attempt to. Yeah.
I guess if we're actually just standing just inside the door.
Little
ways, right?
Yeah. Very close to the door.
I'm going to try to get to the door and unlock it and run away.
Okay, sure. So you swing the door open and run out into the rain.
Yep.
Excellent. Okay. What do you do, Wally? You can now see the creature in the light that's coming in from outside. As you know, again, there's still frequent flashes of lightning and whatnot.
Well, I preferred it when it was pitch black because at least knew to some extent the interior of this building. So I'm going to just try to run as best I can back the path that I had taken from the other room and try to barricade myself in there.
Okay, you're going to charge into the living room is where you were. Charge back into the living room and try to slam the door closed and barricade yourself in there.
Correct.
Okay, odd or even. Okay, the creature really likes Jordan. It goes running through the open door and chases Jordan. It is much faster than you in this weather and storm, so it catches you pretty easily. And also, I need both of you to make sanity rolls as the screeching continues.
It's a big failure.
Okay, yep. Jordan, you're going to lose another sanity point.
It's a success for me.
You don't lose any this round from the screeching. But the creature does manage to hit you, Jordan, with 2 of its claws for a total of 4 plus 4 is 8 damage.
I'm extra dead with a side of roll constitution check, I guess.
Okay, so it slashes you and then it impales you on one of its spikes. Give me a constitution roll.
Oh, that's an awesome, tremendous failure.
Yeah, you die. And it carries you back to Raven Hall. and tosses your body back in with the pile of others in the nursery. And then, you've barricaded yourself in the living room, again in total darkness, much as you like it, Jordan, or Wally. What do you do then? It's quiet for a while.
I am going to try to find like anything I can possibly use to hide in, underneath the mattress, anything I can try to hide that might potentially have something that, just not spot me, even though it knows.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
probably
You
in here.
kind of get yourself up underneath. Like there's like a little sofa in here. Actually, you can kind of hide under the sofa. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, and if I can gather like linens or anything to try to
Cushions.
cushion around the edges to try to prevent anything from seeing me, because I'm terrified of that thing, but I'm terrified of the thunderstorm, so I can't go anywhere. So I just want to hunker down and hope that it has had enough with the two of them, and hope the
Lovely.
storm ends.
That is lovely. Several minutes later, the creature returns. You hear it smashing about in the rectory. You hear it smash down the door into this room. You hear it smashing about in the room, flipping over the chairs and stuff, and then it comes right over and flips over the sofa from on top of you. It, in its own kind of seemingly malicious manner, it reaches up and smashes out the window, the boarded window, breaking the boards and smashing it open so that lightning flashes in and rain pours into the room, and the light flashes in, and you can see the creature as it looms over you. And it attacks you. Hitting you for 3 + 3, 6 damage.
All right, well, that's going to put me at a negative.
Give me a Constitution roll.
All right, Constitution roll. 17. That is a hard success.
So you do survive.
All right, good.
As it drags you back to the nursery unconscious.
Maybe not.
When you come to, you are bound in the nursery. You can see the bodies of your friends, Will, Jordan, even Toby's desiccated corpse. Well, it's not that desiccated. It's only been a week. Bloated, rotting corpse. And then another 13 corpses in here as well. As the old man comes towards you with a sharpened knife, kind of cackling. It says, "Oh, sweet, sweet pain. Sweet, sweet life." And he cuts you across the thumb, drawing your blood. He pulls your thumb up to his mouth and licks the blood from your thumb. And then he begins to chant in a language you do not understand. Give me a power roll, please. I have a hard success.
So do I.
Okay. So how many spell points does that cost? Okay, that costs that many magic points. How many does he have? Here he is. Oh, he doesn't have enough to do twice. Okay, you managed to resist the spell, which he finds extremely disappointing. And so he leaves you there, tied up, for many hours, and hours turn into a day. You kind of pass out eventually from fatigue and fear and like just you're sick with you think you've got pneumonia or something. You wake up at one point as he's pouring some kind of disgusting hot broth into your mouth. He seems to be feeding you and keeping you alive. And this goes on for what you think seems to be like maybe even 2 days. in your mind, you're trying to do the math. You're trying to remember what day is it. It's got to be Sunday, right? So, hey, oh, you told everybody you're going camping for the weekend. Probably nobody's even looking for you yet. And he tries the spell again after this torturous 2 days of in and out of consciousness, being tied up here in a room with rotting, stinking bodies, 3 of which at least were your close friends. And he will attempt the spell again. This whole time you don't see or hear the shrieker. Just the other bodies,
at least that's something.
and this old man.
So I rolled a 99 on my power. So that was a definite fail.
Okay. So this time he succeeds on the Sunday night. And you begin to age and decay even while still alive. Your innate life and vitality transforming into power, which is drained into this ancient sorcerer. I won't go into all the dice rolls because it's not going to matter in the end. You're not going to be able to get out of it. I'll just tell you the nitty gritty. Mechanically speaking, every round you lose 1d10 points each from strength, con, dex, power, and your appearance. Every time you lose a total of 5 points, he gains 1 power as you continue to wither, your flesh turning gray and beginning to flake away until at the full conclusion of the spell, you become a horrid, dry husk. And the sorcerer, as the entire time this is happening, as you look at him, seems to get younger and younger looking. He never looks young, don't get me wrong, but he seems to be invigorated by it. And instead of maybe looking 100 years old by the time you completely lose consciousness and just before you die, maybe he's only 85. And that's the last thing you see. And that's the end of the Ghost of Ravenscar.
All right.
Thanks for playing, gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you. That was fun.
A little situational horror. Yeah. I'm glad he managed to get somebody alive. I thought he was going to accidentally kill everybody. But, yeah. I will end the broadcast here. So thanks to anybody who watched it or will watch it in future. But I'll still hang out if you guys want to chat afterwards also. Cheers. And hope everybody enjoyed their GaryCon 11 this year. All the best.